What's up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle, and back with me today, is Stephen Klopp, and then a very special guest, Doug. You haven't been on the show in a while, Doug. How's everything going, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Kyle. And Stephen, hope your honeymoon went really, really well, and it's good to see you back as well.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate that. Yeah, everything went well. I'm happy to be back. It's been a while. How long has it been, Kyle? Have I missed 3?
So we missed the 2 leading up to the wedding and then after.
So then I missed
and then last week. So 3.
So it's been a month.
Yeah, it's been a month.
How have you guys survived?
That's
a month
crazy.
Without me.
I don't know. We had a great show last week. We had Craig on last week. It was a good show.
Yep. Yeah. That looked like a good chat.
Yeah.
We got some folks in the chat here. Niall, I'm back. Fear not.
Let's
get it going.
Yeah. So, the big thing here, I want to get Doug's thoughts on this because, Steve, you watched the game yesterday, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've been watching games all over the world lately.
Yeah, Steve, pulling out your computer and stuff. I love it. So, Doug, yesterday, obviously, our defense was a little suspect, but I want to give credit where credit's due. I think Brentford played extremely well tactically. I think having 2 strikers up top, I think Tony and Mbuema, I can't remember his actual name, but they're solid. I think Brentford looked very good, and I don't know if it's that newly promoted energy they have, kind of like how Sheffield United had that, where they finished in the top 10 the first year, and then they get relegated. But what do you think, man? Do you think it was our defense, or you think it was more so the tactical setup of Brentford?
Well, first of all, I thought it was an absolutely amazing game of football. Whether you're a neutral, whether you're a Liverpool fan, whether you're a Brentford fan, that was Premier League football at its best. Drama right until the very end. And you know what? You said it perfectly yesterday in your watch along. It was end to end, most of the way. I thought Brentford had a game plan and they stuck to it, and it really affected us as well. I think they packed the midfield. I think the one thing about us is that our midfield yesterday I thought was a little bit non-existent. I think Jones was the best player on the pitch for me yesterday. I think everyone else was. Was poor. I thought Klopp made the wrong decision bringing Robbo back in. I thought Tsimikas has actually not put a foot wrong, and I think he should have probably started. But you have to give credit where credit is due. Brentford, they're going to be any match for any team this season. They are so good. And Thomas Frank is a great manager. Ivan Toney is an absolute threat as well. Yeah. And they're a danger from set pieces. So I've been very, very impressed with Brentford. And a lot of people have actually put them to go down on that basis yesterday. I think they're going to survive comfortably.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they were just playing extremely well. They didn't look like Norwich did. Like when we played Norwich, they looked like a team that was ready to go in the Premier League. Steve, what's your thoughts on it, man?
I'm disappointed.
3 weeks off.
I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I agree with Doug. I think most
of
the players were
ring. Poor. Look at the wedding ring, people.
Classy.
I love it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Enough about that. So thank you to everyone that has already said congratulations and will continue to do so. Really appreciate it. So, Doug, I agree with you. I think pretty much everyone was poor. Curtis was a bright spot. There was another player that I thought was decent, but to see us let in 3 goals is always really, really tough to see. I'm really big on clean sheets, and we've been absolutely rock solid in defense aside from that crazy glanced header that Havertz had a few weeks back, right? So that was really tough to see, and I just didn't expect them to put three past us of all teams, but they do certainly deserve respect. I agree with you guys. I give them a lot of credit. I think they will stay up comfortably. They're strikers. I had people messaging me yesterday, like, I didn't even know who these strikers were. They're saying guys are really exciting to watch. So poor from the defense. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Brentford. But I am extremely disappointed that we didn't get all 3 points there.
Yeah, what's weird though is I think personally I thought Van Dijk looked great despite the 3 goals going in. He had probably at least 10 clearances. He had a good number of blocks. A couple of ones on this is Van Dijk. A couple of one-on-ones. You didn't think he played well?
He was poor.
Really?
By his standards, yeah, he was poor.
Well, I mean, there was
the rating websites are giving him a 5 out of 10.
I think in the air I read that Matip had won 5 out of 12 duels. Van Dijk won 7 out of 13 aerial duels. So
for Van Dijk standards, that's not that great.
It's not. It's not. But the last team to actually play 2 up front, if I seem to remember, was Watford in the title winning season. They played 2 forwards that day, and our defence couldn't cope with it as well. And it was a similar thing to yesterday. I don't think we kept well with Mbeumo or Ivan Toney. But do you know what? As we were obviously giving credit to Brentford, I think they played excellently yesterday. And as I said, Ethan Pinnock. It was. Yes, I know. Obviously, he scored the first goal, but he's now scored non-league, League 2, League 1, Championship, and now Premier League. So he's scored in every division of English football. So that has to be applauded there as well. But they had a game plan, stuck to it, and you know what? It worked really, really well for them. But Van Dijk, Matip. I think that's probably the worst I've seen Matip play for a long, long time. I mean, first half he was okay, but second half he was. I think the 2 forwards actually played really well.
Yeah, I think Matip. Everyone was just off. It seemed like yesterday. I was going to say something about the defense. There was one aerial duel where Van Dijk was just beaten, and I think it was what you said, Doug. Janet, is that his name? Where he scored. Yeah. He gave 2 people their first Premier League goals yesterday. The substitution, Musa, I think, or Missa, or Wissa, something like that. Can't remember his name. And then the guy you mentioned there. So our defense they probably put 3 or 4 through balls just right through our lines. No problem. No one was there to get a foot to it. I think Fabinho he had a couple interceptions. He looked pretty okay yesterday. But yeah, everyone was just average. And I'm worried about that going into this upcoming week because we have Porto and we have City next weekend.
Yeah, 100%. And very tough week. And I don't know about you, but I thought the substitution was wrong, especially when Jones went off. I felt bringing Bobby on, I think, to be fair, Bobby was actually okay when he came on. But I felt if you're going to see out a game like that, I think you need a James freaking Milner. If Liz is in the chat, I felt James Milner was the one to come on yesterday just to see out the game.
It was weird timing because it was right after he scored his goal too.
Yeah,
right after he scored his goal.
Jones.
Yeah,
it was weird. He scored. I went to get a water, came back, and they're just through the highlights already and showing him on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited that Bobby came on, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a coincidence of timing.
Yeah.
They weren't you scored. See you later.
Yeah, because it was between the 60th and 70th minute, so he's bound to make a sub. But it's just weird because, like you guys said, Jones was probably the best player on the field yesterday. And he gets subbed. I don't know. I think Klopp just wanted to get Bobby some minutes, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's healthy again, so I think we'll see Bobby. It'll be interesting to see if Bobby or Jota plays versus City.
Ooh, I know.
Bobby's got the experience against that side. Mm-hmm. We know what he's done. Some of the goals he scored against them. So it'll be interesting. I think we see Jota against Porto.
I think so too. Yeah.
And where is that match, by the way?
It's in Portugal.
It is. All right.
He's going home.
Stadio Drago or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
All I think about
Drago.
All I think about is playing the orange kits in the rain and just smoking them.
5-0?
Porto. We played with Mo, Mane, but everyone was getting
that's probably one of the best games we've played under Klopp.
Yeah. I mean, that whole season, dude, the football we played was just unstoppable. We were smacking teams in the Champions League.
Roma.
Everyone. It was insane. God, throwback. But yeah, what do you guys think? he goes with against Porto? Do you think rotating everyone, or do you think he goes with the strongest side to try to get off on a? I mean, we already have 3 points against Milan. Do you think he rotates and plays it safe? Because away in the Champions League group stages, it's not above Klopp to go with like Hendo, Fabinho, Milner, or something like that.
Well, go ahead.
What, Steve? Go ahead. You're good. If you have something to say, there's no order. Just go.
Are we done with the match review? Are we moving on?
We've kind of transitioned. It seems like that, Steve.
Okay.
Unless
I want to give a shout out to Mohamed Salah.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Just because he's actually getting a lot of credit lately.
Yeah.
Because he's hitting these milestones and people on social media. I just can't get enough of the guy.
I kind of want to. Never mind. I kind of want to talk about Mo Salah too.
Yeah, and I also I'm getting increasingly more frustrated with Sadio Mane.
That's what I couldn't remember. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, you know how I feel about this, Doug. I would actually love to get your thoughts on this, but I think it's the conversation is over about Mohamed Salah. Does he deserve what he wants to get paid? Like, give him everything.
Yes.
Because now he's on the verge of like breaking all-time Liverpool records, like Premier League total goals. He's within reach of that. Things of that nature. Like, we need to keep him around because he could be the greatest Red ever.
Oh, he's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's 100 league goals and 151 appearances. That's faster than like Roger Hunt. Fastest Liverpool player to 100 goals in the Premier League.
He's only behind like 4 other players in like Premier League history. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer's one of them.
Harry Kane's another one.
Harry Kane, Thierry Henry, Ian Wright. I think are those 4.
Yeah. Which is insane. I mean,
strikers.
Talent.
Out and out strikers.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
I think it's just goal scorers.
This guy is playing on the wing. He'll play up top. Especially this season, we see him track back and defend. He'll play right mid at times and let Trent go forward. It's unbelievable. He's lethal.
The goals he's scoring though are like they're not simple tap-ins. They're just from anywhere. I mean, like the guy is absolutely sensational, and his numbers are getting better and better and better and crazier, insane as ever. But obviously the goal yesterday, it's just typical Salah, isn't it? He's on the last line of the defense. Thankfully, a VAR call went in our favor yesterday, which is always nice to see. No, Mo Salah is just incredible, and yes, pay that man whatever you want just to keep him at the football club.
Seriously, and in theory, he could have had 3 goals yesterday because I mean he had the VAR review that went in our favor. The one in the first half that was cleared off the line, which I legitimately during my watch along started celebrating. That was a really good clearance, and then the chip that just got a little bit away from him that went over the top. But he's always in space to make something happen. Sorry about that. I always forget to turn this computer on Do Not Disturb. And, I mean, Fabinho did a good job of finding him yesterday. I mean, we couldn't break him down, so we kind of went over the top a little bit. But Mo Salah, give him what he wants. But Sadio Mane, why? Something's going on, Doug and Steve. Something's going on with this guy. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to stop supporting him, obviously. Like, I want Mane to do better, but it's just like his first touch is off. I mean, his passes his timing is poor. He almost looks like Ox did against Norwich. Like, I know Ox ended up with I know Ox got an assist that game, okay? But watch Ox in the first half. Everything was bad. His touches were heavy. The timing of his pass, he'd wait too long and Norwich would intercept it. Everything was off. And Mane, with the exception of that one through ball to Salah yesterday, looked exactly the same.
You're allowed 1 game, maybe 2, like Oxlade had.
Yeah.
Like Ox had. These things happen. Anyone who's ever even played the sport or touched a football knows that there's those days where it just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're sore, you're tired, maybe you're lightheaded, maybe you're a little dehydrated, you're stiff, you're just rusty in general.
Mm-hmm.
But like, with Mane, I feel like when I watch these games, Liverpool plays as a team of like 10, and Mane's floating over here, or I guess for the viewers, it would be over here on the left-hand side, like fighting his own battle, like stuck in his own box, getting knocked down, tripping, giving the ball away, poor first touches, and then it's like 80 minutes of that, and then he nicks a goal in, and it's like, oh, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. And it's like, okay.
And statistically, he's not, I think in 5 appearances or 6 appearances, he has 3 goals. So statistically, it's not terrible. But when you watch him, the eye test, he's failing that miserably, in my opinion. I don't know.
He had a few great touches off the chest in the air yesterday. And I was like, okay, that's vintage Mane. A couple great turns.
Yes.
But go ahead, Doug. I'd love your take. I would love to hear your take on this.
Yeah, his passing. If passing was straight the living daylights out of me yesterday. How there was a chance to put Jota in, and he tries to play in Salah, and he goes straight to, I think it was Ethan Pinnock and Christopher Ayer. Like, just simple balls, simple balls. If you basically see him running, just play him straight away. Don't hesitate on the ball. Don't dilly dally and then wait 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds and then pass it. Just pass it straight away. That's the one thing you should have done yesterday, was pass it straight away. Because I think Salah or a Jota probably goes on and creates a very good opportunity. But yeah, Mane is a big headache for Klopp. And I'm actually going to ask you both this. Could we potentially see Jota, Bobby, Salah for City?
Yep.
Yeah. We've seen Klopp dropped. I don't
think it'll happen.
It wasn't this year. Maybe it was at the end of last year, but Klopp dropped Mane for a game, and he went with that front 3.
Sorry.
No, you're fine, dude. You're fine.
I could see it happen. I think it could be the correct decision depending on what happens with Porto and in that. Because Porto is Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
That could be the right decision, but I don't think Klopp will do it because that will hurt Mane's confidence.
Yes, that's the
thing that he's scared of. And you're right, Doug. Like, he's in a tough spot right now with Mane. Because Mane is world class, but like, when was the last time we saw that?
Yeah.
Where's the consistency? Anyone that's world class needs to be consistent. Mane's on a roller coaster right now. So
yeah.
I don't know.
It's frustrating to watch him, dude. I mean, because I love watching Mane, but the last, what would you say, 6 months or so, 6 to 9 months,
it's kind of gone from the days where you'd expect like a Mane to potentially maybe score maybe every single game. Yes, I know he has had COVID, but then again, Mo Salah had COVID, and you can obviously see what's happened to him. It's actually made Salah get a lot better. Whereas Mane, I still think the COVID has actually affected what has happened to his form. But it is a worry. I actually wonder if we might maybe see Mane potentially rested for Porto. You could potentially see that.
I would do that.
Oh, wrong one. Yeah, Tony says Mane needs to be dropped off for a few games. He needs to fight for his place and get his hunger back. But this is kind of that, what does Klopp do? Does Klopp trying to like ruin his confidence by benching him? Or does he let him play through it? But the risk with that is, if he has bad games, we're risking, dropping points against big teams, City, Porto. It's tough, dude. It's tough to see a player that's been so crucial for us over the past 6 years just struggle. And it's really
the first lack of effort.
Struggled.
I think he's still hungry.
Mm-hmm.
He still makes runs. He's still dribbling and attacking. He just has no accuracy with anything.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Passes, shots.
I want to go back to what Doug was saying about that breakaway chance. I was livid about that. It was 3-on-2. Mane had the ball. Jota he made like an underlapping run out wide open, and Mane tried to split 2 defenders and find Salah. And it was the stupidest pass I think I've ever seen. It's frustrating. So the passing, the decision making, it's all not there. But I just don't see COVID still being a factor in why he's playing so bad. I don't know. I don't think that can be it, man. I feel like it's all mental.
Mm. It's a very, very weird one, but I think Stephen hit the nail on the head. That I still think he's hungry. You can definitely see it in him that he is definitely hungry. But then again, I do agree with what Tony said. I think Mane does need to, earn that spot in the team, which goes back to my other point. Robbo yesterday, I thought he was poor. I actually don't see what Tsimikas has actually done wrong to actually be dropped for me, because I think it's sending out a really bad message that, like, yes, I know Robbo is the number one left back, and I know that for a fact. But if you actually look at this season, Tsimikas has been better, and I think he's got a better cross on him as well. So I was very, very disappointed not to see Tsimikas yesterday, because I think having a Tsimikas, I think, might have been the difference yesterday. I really do, because I think there's now people suggesting that potentially Tsimikas comes in for City, and then maybe Robbo plays Porto. But who knows? But I think it's sending out a wrong message to the team if you've got a player like Tsimikas who's been playing really, really well. Robbo has come back from injury. I don't think he should have been played against Chelsea. Robbo, I think it should have been Tsimikas. It's sending out a wrong message to say, like, if you've played a good game, you get dropped for the next game because the number one left back is there.
Steve, I see you kind of shaking your head over there. What are you thinking?
Well, I get the thought process. I really do. But just because, like,
shit, I'm not even plugged in. Go ahead.
Yeah, you sound fine.
I know, but my mic's not even plugged in.
I get what you mean, Doug. It does send an interesting message, but I think it depends on how you look at it. Like, Tsimikas was brought in to be a backup. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, I don't even envision him being the number one left back in like 5 years. Like, maybe when Robbo's past his prime, which he could be, maybe he's not. So you come in, you play a few good games. Like, do you think Origi deserved to start yesterday? Because he played 2 good games in a row.
Valid point.
Yeah.
So that's just the way that I think about it. But I know exactly what you're saying. I totally understand that. But we're talking about Andy Robertson here, not like Keita.
Okay.
Keita has a couple good games. Hendo gets healthy. Keita, see you later. We'll see you in a month. Type thing.
Yeah.
I think this is a little bit different. I think Tsimikas has played well. I just can't see him starting over Robertson. Robertson, I think, has been less like clinical and less accurate with his crosses. He's had less assists, but he has been battling injury, that, like you mentioned. But at the end of the day, like, there's no work rate maybe in the world at left back like Robertson. So I think we'll see him for City for sure. But we could see Tsimikas at Porto.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with both of you. And 2 things I want to bring up. Yesterday, even though Robbo, look, Tsimikas has played exceptional. I think there's very little difference so far in the performances that Tsimikas has put in compared to Robertson so far this season. I do see where you might say, yeah, maybe Robertson isn't as accurate as Tsimikas in terms of early crossing once he gets to the line. One thing I want to say, yesterday, Robertson had that amazing run into the middle of the field where he won that free kick. He was starting the press from the left back spot at times. The work rate is there. I think he recovered suspiciously fast from that ankle injury. If you guys watched how disgusting that ankle injury was, he was on the field like a week later. So good for him. Yes, I think I'm on the same page as Steve. They probably told Tsimikas and Doug, like, I feel like when he came in, they're like, look, we're bringing you in as a backup left back. You're going to get opportunities to play, and your job is to play well. But his role in the team is a backup left back. So I think that's really the only reason why you wouldn't start Tsimikas over Robertson, is just because Robertson is the number one left back. He's arguably the best left back in the world. regardless of how well Tsimikas is playing. I'm so glad Tsimikas is playing well because we want our backups to be playing well. But that's where my head's at. So I can see both sides of it. It's really interesting. But I think Tsimikas gets rotated this week. I think he plays against Porto.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, he definitely deserves time.
Yeah.
But I think now he's ready. Last year, apparently he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then he got COVID, and we didn't even know if
see
he
him
was
at all
alive.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's played in 4 Premier League games this year. He started 3. One of them was poor. I think it was the first one.
No, Norwich. He was a baller against Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich, he was fantastic.
Okay, what's the one I'm thinking of then?
Burnley, maybe? Was it
Burnley?
Burnley? Burnley was the second game. It was one of them. I get what you're saying.
He made an assist in that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
One
for
game
Jota.
he was poor.
okay.
Or don't you guys remember, like, we were all saying, what's he doing out there? Kyle, we
I-
talked about this
there
like a month
was-
ago.
No. I do remember what you're talking about, but I just know it wasn't Norwich because Norwich is the game where he just wouldn't give up on the play, and he had like 3 guys on him.
Oh, maybe it was the first half of that game.
Oh, yeah. It was when Rashika got past him. I think he was dilly-dallying on the...
he knocked.
Yeah. He was dilly-dallying in the box, and I think Rashika managed to get the ball off him. So, that's the kind of game that he
sat him
I
down, dude. He sat him
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's played in big
against,
games. He's played in Europa League.
Yeah.
Yeah, against Palace, I thought he was a bit lucky not to concede a penalty. I think that's the one thing. I think he is still a little bit rash, but he is a very, very good up and coming player for sure. I think he's been fantastic recently.
Here's the thing. You see, let's just say, like, Riyad Mahrez coming down on the right wing against City next week. Like, who do you want guarding him? Who do you want covering him?
Oh, Robbo, definitely.
Robbo.
Right. So I don't think, like, even if Tsimikas' crosses might be better, like, his work rate's not the same, his experience isn't the same. Playing against Manchester City would be the biggest match of Tsimikas' life.
Yeah.
Like, his entire life. Because right?
I mean,
He's never played in a final or anything like that.
No, I mean, he's played in Europe, but I think we have a good problem, boys. I think we're debating about.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
that was my point from
problem.
earlier when I said he wasn't ready last year, but he's ready this year. So now we're covered there.
Yeah, and I think this isn't a critical debate or a criticism debate, Liz. I think it's more of just like who is playing better and deserves to start, which is a good problem to have. I'm just worried more so about these injuries. I think that's another thing. I mean, do you think not having Thiago and Keita yesterday had any impact on how we played at the back? Do you think they were getting through our midfield too easily, and that was giving our back line problems? Are you worried about that at all, Doug?
I think if you look at the Leeds game, that was Brentford yesterday, except Brentford were a much better team than Leeds. We attack, you attack. We allowed them onto us, and I think that was the main thing from that game. But yeah, injuries are a worry for sure, and I do think we missed a Thiago yesterday, just to someone to dictate the play like he did against Leeds. He was absolutely fantastic against Leeds, so I feel that he should have. He was a miss yesterday. He was a miss. Keita is a miss as well. I know that we can obviously joke about him, getting injured, hitting a blade of grass, and it's a Naby Keita injury, unfortunately for him. But I do feel we did miss a leader in that midfield. Yeah, Henderson yesterday. I would argue probably Henderson was probably the one to take off yesterday. I think his legs were gone after about 55, 65 minutes, and then obviously Jones scored, and then Bobby came on. I think I would have probably subbed Henderson, not Jones, because I said Jones was the best player on the pitch yesterday. But I do feel that Thiago, I think we see that game out yesterday.
Yeah, we missed that dictation from the midfield. I mean, Curtis Jones can be somewhat creative, so can Henderson, but more so from deep areas, not going forward. Whereas Thiago, I feel like, can push forward. Another thing, we weren't seeing Matip push forward as high as he usually does yesterday. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Matip
They look tired.
He did look tired.
No, Virgil did too.
I don't know. Do you think that they were? I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Or are they distracted?
What was the weather like?
Well, the weather looked great. Was it the kits? I mean, I couldn't tell one player from another yesterday. I wasn't used to the kits. I was calling Jones Hendo and Robertson Samikas. It was bad.
Well, Doug, that's an awesome kit. As most of you guys know, Kyle has one of those now too.
Yeah, this is my favorite. I absolutely love this one.
Isn't the stitching?
I think I'm going to get the yellow.
Amazing? It's so good. The Doug, is that the match one or the stadium one?
The match one.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So Steve, thank you again. I mean, it's amazing. But the yellow
I think I'm getting the yellow.
The yellow one it looks way better on the players. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it's gonna divide opinion.
Are we actually gonna like judge kits? Like yellow, classic. Everyone remembers the crown paint yellow from back in the day. Like this is just paying homage to that. I want the yellow one.
Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't taken with the yellow one, but actually looking at it on the players, it does look better on the players. But it still reminds me of McDonald's vibes, sort of outfit.
Yeah, certainly. And I know the kit you're wearing is nicer. I know that. I like to be a little bit different, but I also think the yellow is like something we might not see again for a while. I'm not going to wear it every day. It's just going to go in the rotation.
Yeah, we always have those not awful, but like crazy grab your eye third kits. Like, remember the purple one a couple years ago? It's like purple. You're like, I wasn't expecting purple, but it was kind of like, oh, the purple.
That was for Milner. That was the Ribena sort of kit that I think that was inspired on James Milner. Yeah, I quite like that one, to be fair.
And I always think that as soon as the kits come out, I feel like they're way less good looking than when we see them on the field. And I think the case in point for me was the home kit. I did not like the home kit when I first saw it because the lighting in the reveal made it look like it was an actual orange, not like a crimson like it looks on the field. It blends into the kit very well when the players wear it. So I think all of them are nice, honestly. I don't know why the yellow one is getting so much hate, Steve. I think
people don't like it, and that's fine. That means there's plenty of them in stock for me. But look, everyone wants to get the red one each year, or like they hope the away kit is like nice enough to buy. I have the black 16-17.
I have two of those. Yeah,
the Lallana Coutinho year. You guys know the one I'm talking about.
Those
I love that kit.
Yeah,
I have the Bobby
17-18.
Mo Salah's first year.
V-neck.
I don't love that kit. I really don't.
I just don't know why New Balance put the badge and the New Balance thing a different color. That's the only thing.
It's a little big, and I walk around. It's like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then I have, anyways, I think the yellow one, I think we can look back on that in 10 years and go, you remember this thing? You know?
Yeah.
People hated it, but like, it was yellow. Did people hate the Crown Paints kit? I don't think so.
I don't know. I wasn't around back then.
Very similar.
Yeah. I'll tell you one. I did not like the yellow one we had in, was it 14-15? I did not like that
Warrior?
one. Yeah, Warrior. Warrior makes hockey stuff, dude. Why they have no business
they do lacrosse, hockey.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They do everything.
They
won the bidding war. Put it that way.
Well, yeah, we were in the early stages.
They'd make cars if they could.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now looking forward to Porto, right? I think we touched enough on the match. Real quick before we jump into that, let's go over to the chat, see what some people are saying. Oh boy, not him. Welcome. Guys, make sure you're new if you subscribe, and also give the stream a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Virgil van Dijk and Matip were horrible. I felt I was watching Arsenal backline playing for us. Interesting. Arsenal's pretty horrific. That's a stretch, but I see what you're saying. No one's a fan of the yellow kit. I can't blame you guys. It does look like McDonald's-ish, Ronald McDonald's-ish, but I still think the players made it look way better than people are making it out to be. Yeah, Iced Coffee says, really, that yellow kit looks Still looks scary on the players. Interesting. All right, so now going into Porto, I was reading in the chat, a lot of people think Tsimikas should play against Porto. I wouldn't have any problem rotating Tsimikas in there. I'm a little scared to take Matip and Van Dijk. I'm scared to rotate that partnership. But I think Konate against Norwich, guys, I know it's Norwich, and I know Norwich rotated, but Konate is phenomenal at defending. One-on-one defending. He's great in the air. His distribution, he keeps the tempo up. He kind of reminds me of Hendo. Like when the play's slow, he swings balls into people's feet, and it just speeds the game up a little bit. And I like that, especially if we're playing out from the back. Would you rotate Konate in there, or no? Is it still too early to rotate in the Champions League?
I think Van Dijk gets rested against Porto.
Really?
So I think he gets rested against Porto. I think Van Dijk will come back in against Manchester City. So on the basis of that, Ali will play. Ali will definitely play. He plays the Champions League games.
Oh, yeah.
I think Trent will still be playing. So I would probably say Trent will play right back. I can maybe see Matip being rested as well. I could potentially see Gomez-Konate partnership again. I think we could potentially see that. I think Tsimikas is a shoe-in at left back. Midfield, I think Fab will play. I don't think we've got anyone else for that CDM role, so I think Fab will play. I can see Henderson potentially maybe, and I think we'll see Milner. And then up front's an interesting one. I think we'll see Mo. I think we'll see Divock, and I'm going to say that Mane will be rested and Minamino will come in.
Ooh, so heavy rotation. Okay. Steve, what do you think?
I don't know about that front line. I don't know if I can get on board with that. I think your back line's I think that's the right decision.
Yeah.
No one knows what we're going to see. Klopp doesn't even know what he's going to go with yet. But I think like Virgil has to be fresh and Matip has to be fresh against City, because that game is 10 times as big as this Porto game. In my opinion, it's not even close. I don't care who you play against Porto. But yeah, Matip and Van Dijk could get a rest. I saw Liz saying that here in the chat. Back to your Konate point, I don't see the one-on-one defending you're seeing. I do see him upping the tempo and slinging balls forward out to our our right back, our back, fullbacks, up through the middle. He's definitely a forward-thinking player, which is nice.
I think the 1v1 situations were against Palace, if I'm not mistaken. He had 2 1v1s where he just defended amazingly. Like,
I also saw him get like bullied a few times in the box
on like set pieces and stuff.
No, like there was one. Was this the Palace game? Was that his first Premier League game?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
There was one where I remember he was running alongside someone and he had the pace, but the guy just like gave him a shoulder and he just got knocked off the ball and gave the guy an open chance.
Oh, so
Edward.
Did I must have missed that one because there were 2, and it was Edouard and Benteke both had breakaways, and he defended well. So was this a different chance?
Must have been.
I don't remember that one, but yeah, I mean, he's 21.
He's so young.
He's so young.
We're gonna go back in time to a couple months ago when everyone said Konate was going to start every game. And I told everyone to shut up. Someone please come crown me, because I think I was the only one in the world, or one of them, that said Konate's barely going to play, if at all.
I think we all knew that. I think people just wanted him to start every
Kyle,
game.
this chat was exploding with Van Dijk, Konate.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Wishes.
Yeah. That's the dream, but it was never going to happen, dude. That's
what I was saying.
Yeah. But what is everyone saying in here in the chat? Davies here says Konate still got a foot on that one, though. I think he's talking about the breakaway one where he got shoved off. See what else. Oh boy, not him. Like to see Taki and Origi. They need game time. I mean, they played well against Norwich. We moved on to the next round, so they're obviously going to play in the Preston game. But I don't know if you can start either of them against Porto. They could definitely be subbed on, but I don't think you can start them against Porto.
You might see one. I don't think you'll see both, because Doug, is that what you predicted?
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see both. I think you could see one. I think that's realistic.
Jota, sorry.
Yeah.
It'd be Jota, Origi, Salah then in that case. I knew I forgot somebody, and I knew it was off the tip of my tongue. But Jota.
I do think they deserve time though. I think
Yeah.
Origi more so than Minamino. People want to see Minamino really bad because we don't really know what he has, right?
Yeah, and he
It's
played.
like, what do we
exceptional
really
against
have in this guy?
We don't know his best position. That's a start.
No,
That's
but
a good
he's
point.
versatile. He can play everywhere.
I think that's one of the reasons why he's still here and he didn't get sold or loaned out again, is because, God forbid, we do get hit with the injury bug again before the January window, before we can purchase someone. He needs to be able to slot in and play somewhere. Anyways, why am I ranting here? You could see one of two of them, I think. And I do think they both deserve game time, but yeah, I would see them more so as subs at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I could see Origi starting. I do not see Minamino starting in a Champions League game against Porto.
Yeah, I mean, Origi started against Milan, didn't he? Klopp. I was surprised to see Klopp rotate and put Origi to start against Milan. So yeah, it's very possible that Origi starts.
He's not phased by the big games. That's the thing with him.
No. I
mean, I don't feel great about him playing against Burnley on Monday night, but you put him in the Champions League, I know he's been there before.
Yeah.
He's performed at the highest level.
And just to put this, it doesn't bother me when I see Origi starting. Like, I feel like it bothered some people that Origi was starting against Milan. It's surprising, but it doesn't bother me. I love Origi, I just want him to perform when he plays. I would hate for him to get game time and then he just does nothing. You know what I mean? That's my big thing. And Tony agrees with Doug's selection here. He would just rotate Curtis Jones for Henderson. Curtis Jones, a Bleacher Report put out
that as well.
The team saying that Curtis Jones wasn't part of the Champions League squad. So Bleacher Report threw me for a loop because he's part of the squad. Curtis Jones probably should play against Porto.
I would play him against Porto rather than City.
Yeah.
We have to have our strongest 11.
Yeah.
Our standard 11 out against City. We have to.
Oh, yeah.
That's Robbo, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Allison, Fabinho, Hendo. I don't know if Thiago's going to be back.
He's not. He's going to miss City.
Okay. He's going to miss City. So then...
At least that's what Klopp said.
I don't know. I don't know who the third one would be.
Milner. You could definitely see Milner.
I could see Milner, but I just can't see that lineup against City. That's what I can't picture it against City.
Yeah.
So I like that three.
I get where you're talking from about that, because I can't see for the life of me a Fabinho, Hendo, Milner midfield against City. I just can't see it.
Curtis Jones then.
Then it would have to be Curtis. It would have to be Curtis.
And Curtis is more creative than Milner, arguably. I mean, Milner's solid, but Curtis Jones is just good on the ball. I feel like
he would relish that opportunity.
He would.
He would absolutely relish that opportunity. Matter of fact, let's do that.
I agree
Curtis,
with that midfield.
Fabinho, Hendo against City. I think that's rock solid.
Yeah. What about Firmino, guys? I know Doug. Well, we talked about the Porto lineup, but against City, do you start Firmino, Jota, Salah, or does Klopp stick with Mane and he goes Mane, Jota, Salah? I mean, interchangeable. The only one who has to start is Salah.
I would say Jota, Firmino, Salah for City.
It's got to be that. It's got to be that. And Mane's going to be so pissed if that. Yeah, God. He's frustrated with himself, man. You saw yesterday, he was fouling people hard towards the end of the game just because he couldn't get anything going.
I think for City, you'll see Mane, Bobby, and Salah up top. And I think you'll see Jota come in at 60 for Bobby or Mane. I really think we're going with the 11 on paper that we've gone with for the past few years, aside from maybe one in the midfield, which would be Curtis. Because I think Thiago would play in this game.
Or could we see Bobby against Porto? Could we see Bobby versus Porto potentially?
I think we could see Bobby versus both.
Yeah. I think Bobby plays against Porto. That's what I was getting at, because Klopp put him on yesterday. Usually what Klopp does when Bobby comes back, at least every time I've seen it, when he gets subbed on the game before, he starts the next game. So I think Bobby plays.
Yeah.
Bobby, Mane, Salah. I mean, Jota, Salah. I don't know, man. It's just tough.
Mm.
It's just
I
tough.
think I think you're going to see Salah, Origi, Jota. Or the other way around for you guys. Salah, Origi, Jota against
Yeah.
Porto.
And then midfield.
And then I think you're going to see Mane, Bobby, Salah against City.
yeah.
With Jota coming on in the 60th minute for either Mane or Bobby, whoever's playing worse or needs a rest. I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. It's good to have a selection dilemma, but Haroon says Mane needs to be dropped for Bobby. Been saying this since last season. Well, I mean, Bobby doesn't play on the wing though, so it's
I think
like
he's just saying slide Jota over.
slide Jota over.
Jota was brought in as a Mane replacement, or sort of like if Mane's not playing well, then Jota become. I think Jota's been surprised with the actual number of games he's been playing, but I think looking at it in hindsight, I think Jota is that Mane replacement. Bobby does not do well on the wing. Bobby is the vocal point up front. He's not a winger.
He's got to play through the middle. He's not quick enough to play on the wing, but he has to play through the middle because he needs to be able to turn and look both ways for passes out wide. But you're right. I think Jota is surprised. What about Ox? Are we seeing Ox play ever again?
You could see him against Porto. You're not going to see him against City.
Yeah,
Potentially against Porto.
Yeah.
It's really tough because he does thrive against City. He always plays well against City, but I don't see him starting against City. So
when was the last time we saw him play well against City?
I knew Steve was going to say that.
Probably the 4-3 game.
Yeah, so that was 3 years ago.
17-18. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had so many injuries since then. He's spent so much time on the bench and in the rehab facility since then. Like, it's crazy because here with the sports we follow in the United States, like no one talks about those types of things. But in football, internationally, that's a real thing. Like you could have one player that rides the bench forever, but there's one team he does well against. Yeah. Let's just say it's like, I don't know, Suarez against Norwich. Like he just always tore them up. But it's like, because Kyle, like you and I never mentioned like, oh, that guy always scores 40 points in the NBA against this team.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get what you mean, Doug. I just think that was so long ago and so much has changed. I am surprised we haven't seen Ox more based on all the talk in preseason about him potentially moving up top, him looking sharp, back to his old ways, maybe playing on the wing. We haven't really seen him.
What I'll say is, like, I watched that Norwich game and I specifically watched like Ox. I specifically watched how Origi was playing. Ox was trying to make things happen, specifically in the second half. The second half, he was trying to take shots from outside the box. He ended up getting the assist, but like I said, is just he's off. And when you get an opportunity against Norwich in the League Cup, Ox should have been the standout player. I mean, he really should have been, and he wasn't. So it worries me. I don't necessarily know if Klopp looks at that as like, I don't have confidence in you to play in bigger games, but maybe he's just trying to find his rhythm again.
Klopp is saying, show me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he puts Taki on, he scores. You put Origi on, he scores. He gets an assist in the Champions League. Origi has a very, very high football IQ, in my opinion.
Do you think he's lazy at times?
Could be, but ever since we benched him for months, when he comes on, he looks lively. He's pressing, he's sprinting. He's like, okay, I have to give it all I have. Even if I'm tired and they take me off in the 60th minute, this is what Bobby does. Like, I think it's finally clicked for him that, like, you're not that pacey, finessing, 5-star dribbler that maybe you thought you were. You get brought in to be a workhorse. That's that role for you. So I think he's got a really high IQ. I think Divock is a very, very smart player. I don't know if Ox has that.
Yeah. No,
Like Ox is just a bull, sprint straight ahead, hit the ball as hard as you can. So
I just think Origi is underrated. Always. I've always thought he was underrated. I mean, it's just maybe it's a little skewed because when we see him start and play a full game, it's against a lower side, at least recently. But I mean, even his ability to go onto his left foot and cross into the box is underrated. I mean, he created some chances against Norwich doing that. I just feel like people don't think Origi is good enough, but he's been showing us recently that when he comes on, he produces. So, I mean, it's a good headache to have for Klopp. Oh boy, not him says Origi is center for me works. Okay. Yeah, because he has played out on the wing, but through the center, he's all right. Liz, Ox's game on the pitch hasn't matched his social media game. Well, yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah, he's too good on social media. Now, so going ahead, we've talked about Porto, talking about City. What are the main things we need to make sure to? Where's the game at? Is it at Anfield or is it at
It's Anfield.
It's at Anfield. Huge.
So it's a must-win
game.
It's a must-win.
No question. We have to win. Like I don't even think we can draw. We need to win.
We're home. We have to win.
Yes.
We need to win like 3-0, 3-1. It has to be a convincing one too, because we have to send a message. We need 3 points and we need goal differential.
Yeah.
We're home with fans against City for the first time in 2 years.
Exactly. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I can take from this game against City now is that we've got fans back. Last season's 4-1 was a freak result. Absolute freak result. There is no way City are scoring 4 past us on Sunday. Not a chance.
I mean, if you remember that game, there was like 2 very small, minute moments. Like Foden, you remember when Foden just like hit the ball as hard as he could and went like right over Alisson's like head
No, Alisson made mistakes that Alisson cost us most of those goals.
He gave the ball away twice, and then Fabinho gave it away once, I think.
Yeah. So that's an outlier.
Those
game.
2 little things, right. I'm not worried about that. Just like I wasn't worried about us when they beat us after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And plus we've got our main back four back again. You remember that game against City when we lost 4-1? The 2 centre backs that day were Fabinho and Gini Wijnaldum.
Oh my God, were they?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Shout out Fabinho. What a legend.
I think we had a midfield of Henderson, Thiago, and Jones. And
I don't hate that.
Bobby Salah.
Yeah,
I can trust that side, honestly, but it's just crazy, dude. Wijnaldum played center back maybe like 3 times in his 4 years here, 5 years here. And it's like against City, Klopp went with Wijnaldum. You know what I mean?
This man has played center back to center forward.
He's played every position.
Center mid, left mid, right mid. I've seen him probably wing, left wing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Probably at some point. It's just crazy.
I don't know if I've seen him on the right up top, but I've seen him on the left up top.
Yeah.
I've seen him damn near everywhere. Like, seriously. They scored all their goals at the end of the game. Yeah, I mean, Gundogan.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a weird game. And so what's the one after the pandemic where we were mentally checked out, probably still hungover from celebrating the league, and we got smacked? I think, was it 4 or 5-0? It was horrible.
4-0.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
That was stupid as well.
Honestly, the one thing I'm not too worried about, I'm afraid to speak on this. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not too worried about City's attack. I feel like they have a weird rotation going on with attack right now where like Ferran Torres has been playing center forward for them a lot of the time. And then we haven't seen Sterling a lot. Like City haven't been playing. It's weird. I don't know if he's fallen out under Pep, but I don't think they have that killer speed on the wings anymore like they did when they had Sané and Sterling playing.
People say that Manchester City don't have a weakness. For me, their weakness is Pep Guardiola because he overthinks things in the big games. Yes, he might have got his tactics right against Chelsea yesterday, and Chelsea sucked in that game. They had no shots on target. They defended so deep. They allowed City onto them, and the more the game went on, I knew the City were going to score. So Pep does have these moments that he does overthink things, and the one reason he won yesterday, he played Rodri in the midfield. Didn't do that in the Champions League final, lost. So if they don't play Rodri, I think we could win this game.
I think we should, regardless. I really do. I mean, Anfield, packed stadium, doesn't matter who's playing. We should be beating Man City because I think we're better than Man City. I do think they have more depth than we do, but I don't know. Like, if you ask me who I would take up front between their front three and our front three, even I would take Jota. I would take all of our front players before any of theirs, honestly. I mean, I just feel like our attack
Who's even starting for them up top now?
That's the thing. Jesus started yesterday, I think. And but Ferran Torres has been playing center forward.
I forgot about Grealish, man.
Yeah, Grealish, Jesus, and Foden was the front three yesterday.
It's like
I'll take ours all day.
Yeah, no, it's just like, remember when
in 3 years that
Sterling, Aguero, Sane. Sterling, Aguero, Sane was phenomenal. It's a phenomenal front three, and I feel like they've slowly gone downhill there. I mean, Riyad Mahrez and Jesus, and then who? Grealish.
Yeah, but you guys, they have De Bruyne.
Oh, he's so good. So good.
He floats in, out, and around all through the box. You know what I mean? He's like a cam, an attacker. He's all over the place. So when you got that guy pulling the strings and his ability to shoot and create through balls, crosses, his vision, his IQ alone, like, it doesn't really matter who you have up there.
This is a game where we're going to miss Gini Wijnaldum, because I would tell Gini Wijnaldum to just man-mark De Bruyne the entire game. Just stay with De Bruyne. Don't let him go anywhere. Like, oh, man. But, guys, we're wrapping up here. Let's go over to the chat and say, Haroon talks about Sterling always does well against us, but I don't see him starting, which is good. I think we can control Grealish and Foden as they don't have the pace to get in behind. Should be an easy game. I like the attitude. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that. I'd argue Sterling not until recently has he played well against us. I mean, initially, the first 3 seasons after the transfer, he didn't even score against us. I mean, he couldn't do anything against us. But I don't think Grealish is quick enough to give us any worry over there. Would you guys agree? I think we can stick with Grealish pretty well. I'm worried about De Bruyne, though.
Not worried about Grealish's pace, but he's a good player. Otherwise,
Grealish is a good player, but I don't worry about his pace. I think the one to worry about is De Bruyne. For me, on that Sterling point, I disagree totally. I don't think Sterling's always intimidated going to Anfield anyway.
He is,
when the crowd's on his back. So I don't think he'll start on Sunday. I would be very surprised if he starts on Sunday.
That just blows my mind. I feel like Sterling is the best winger they have. Might be the only natural winger they have. Like, what? I don't know what Pep's doing over there. I hope he overthinks this one, though. I really do.
Oh, me too.
I hope he has a weird ass lineup in there.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great game. Virgil van Dijk is back. That changes the matchup.
Yeah, it really does.
You know?
Yeah.
We had to play City without him. How do you do that? How can you manage that?
It's just
that one guy changes the whole game.
Do you guys realize we had no of our starting center backs last season for the entire season? The entire season. We finished 3rd.
Yeah, we had him for like 2 months.
People are going to talk about that season for years, dude. I don't care what anyone.
3rd or 4th? That was 4th.
3rd.
Oh, had 1 point ahead of Chelsea?
Yeah,
1 point ahead of Chelsea. Dude, Nat Phillips and Kabak, who Kabak has been horrific for Norwich since he's been there. Somehow we managed to finish 3rd. I mean, it's just amazing. So with Van Dijk and, like you said, Steve, with Van Dijk back, Matip healthy, that is the best partnership in the Premier League, I think.
I wish we had Thiago for this one.
Oh, me too.
I'm dying to see this 11 with Thiago slotted in next to Fabinho and Henderson versus City.
We finally got it against who did we play? Was it Palace? I think it was Palace, where we finally saw Hendo, Fabinho, Thiago.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time we saw that.
It was the final game of last season. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was the first time we saw it, yeah. And then what do you know? Thiago gets a little knock. But boys, I do appreciate you both coming on. Steve's back. Happy to have you. Doug, always good to have you on. It's good to get your insight on things. And I think the fans enjoy it as well. We got a lot of crossover viewers, so that's very good. Guys, go check out Doug's channel, the Dugout Football channel. Good content over there. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Share the stream as well with a Liverpool fan or a Porto fan, City fan, whatever you want to do. And give the stream a thumbs up as well. Do you boys have any closing thoughts? We'll start with Doug.
Thank you very much for having me. The last time we were on was that Manchester United non-game, if you remember the violence after that. So, but no, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, and I'll be happy to come back on at some point.
No problem, Doug. And Steve.
Doug, thanks for jumping on. It's always good to have you on every few months. Yeah, I don't really have many thoughts. This is an important week coming up. I was really disappointed after yesterday's match. Of course you want the 3 points. It's not great that we just got one. I was upset that we let in 3 goals. As most of you know, I'm just big on clean sheets. We played 5 games and let in one glanced 1 out of 10 goal to Havertz.
Yeah.
And then we let in 3.
We quadrupled our total in one game.
Yeah. Exactly. And you look at City, they've only let in 1 goal. Chelsea's only let in 2 goals. The defenses around the league, people saw we had the best defense in the world. We won everything. Yeah. This is not to take anything away from City. We know they're incredible, but what has Tuchel done with Chelsea? He's made them a defensive powerhouse. They sit back. That's how you win the league. You either have an insane firepower like City had that's not sustainable, or you build a solid defense. We let in 3 goals. Hopefully that's an outlier. I don't like to see teams score against us. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'd rather win 2-0 than 5-1 every single day. That's just me.
No, good points. Builds the confidence of the defense, and it also helps with goal difference. So I appreciate both your points of view, guys. Great stream today. Looking forward to the matches this week. And until next time, Reds, take care.